Greetings, YouTube. Yesterday was a really interesting day and a learning experience for my channel. Also, the glare of these glasses is terrible. I'm going to just take them off. So, just to give you an idea of kind of what happened behind the scenes to me, I was waiting around, as I always do, about 5 minutes to noon Central Standard Time in America to wait to see if there was a new offer to grade. And so I checked the Line app just to see if there was any messages because we were running an alliance war in my alliance at that moment. And I got three messages from three subscribers, all with the exact same urgent plea to let the MCOC community know immediately that dexterity and mystic dispersion, two things that are really fundamentally important to the nature and really the skill and the enjoyment of the game for so many users, that those might be changed. And I had seen so much potential shadiness in some things that had been going on with Kabam in the last month, that when a couple of them were saying, like, I just spent all of my loyalty on Mystic Dispersion. One person was like, I spent over 1,000 units on maxing out Mystic Dispersion. I said, okay, well, this could be a problem, and you care about this. And as a journalist, I am trained to put the news out as quickly as possible. But that is a really, really bad idea. And often it's not who's first that matters, really, always. It's who's right. And so in the video, I tried my best to read the post and say that we weren't sure what the changes were going to be. But I did point out something that Kabam Mike really answered at the end of the day. And that was that this was not some change that was supposed to be negative in any way toward the community. It was actually supposed to be something that so many YouTubers and so many players who've been playing this game far longer than I have asked for. And in my supreme ignorance of that, I managed, I think, to have some people watch my video and think that no matter what, this was going to be some terrible nerf to both. And it was just a really dumb thing for me to do. And it's a really important learning experience for me to take a deep breath and wait for more information before speculation about the potential for something negative. And so if you watched that video and you took away from it that this was going to be for sure like the worst thing ever to happen to the game, to the point that some people were commenting like, hey, I've been looking for a reason to quit the game and I finally have one. Yeah, I sincerely apologize, because that's my fault. And contrary to popular belief in some segments of the MCOC community, I don't have a YouTube channel so that I can put out clickbait. I don't have a YouTube channel so that I can try to be negative and whining and polarizing. I have made some mistakes in my YouTube career as far as MCOC is concerned that I've really tried to learn from. My biggest mistake coming in January, when I was dumb enough and immature enough to call out Seaton by name and use his thumbnail as part of my thumbnail in order to make the argument for my favorite science champ, Quake, when really I should have just made the argument without ever including him. But, that was one of those things that once it happened, and once I got a lot of understandably negative feedback that made me really take a step back and be like, wow, that was very immature of you, I made a promise to myself and to basically everybody who continued to stay with my channel that I wasn't going to do that anymore. And so I've made over 300 videos since then. And I do realize that there's a segment of YouTube that's still always going to associate me with the guy that was immature enough to call out Seaton, and that's just something I have to live with. But Seaton, if you're watching this, man, I shouldn't have done that. I should have handled that a lot better, and I apologize. So I just want to say this. My goal in my channel is to bring light and humor and thought-provoking content to the community. I think I always want to review every offer, even if you would think to yourself, why would anyone ever get that? Because a lot of the people who watch my channel and a lot of people who play this game are brand new to it. They don't know what a good offer or a bad offer is. And I want them to know, whether or not that's worth their money, especially if they're trying to improve in the game. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to just be negative for negative sakes. I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world if all I did was enjoy bashing Kabam and making it my goal to be negative, because I wouldn't have this awesome YouTube channel that I get to interact with you amazing people out there if I didn't have this game. It's a game that I love, and I think that's why sometimes I get so emotional. It's because I care so much about the game that I don't want it to be destroyed. I don't want it to be one of those cases where everybody ends up sitting around the campfire one day and talking about, hey, remember when MCOC used to be awesome? And then they did that one thing, and suddenly it went all downhill and everybody stopped playing. I don't want that conversation to occur. I don't want that moment to happen. We survived patch 12.0, even though I know a lot of people quit during that time. I don't want that to happen again. And so I don't want to be the voice that trolls the community. I want to be honest, and I want to be fair. When I grade assignments for my students, my goal is for them not to say I'm an easy grader, but to say that I'm a fair grader. And there are times, ironically, that the opposite occurs, where the last sort of debate, I guess you could call it, I got in with Seaton. It was because he was saying, with some valid points, that I was being too positive and too generous about the value of the monthly uncollected quests in terms of the overall value of units for what you're actually paying. And so, like, it was an eye-opening experience for me to think, even though I feel like most of the time the hatred or the negativity comes from the fact that I'm so brutally honest at times, even blunt, that I could also get some pretty fair criticism for being too positive. So it just goes to show you that you can't always please everybody, but there's a difference between not pleasing somebody and putting out misleading information or something that is going to at least feel like a clickbait, if you will, type of deal. So I want to learn from this, and I want you to know that I appreciate your support and that your constructive criticism is fair and it's valid. And I need to learn and I need to get better every day. And I do think if we had a community that we always just agreed with each other, it would be really boring. And so I want us to have some civil disagreement, but I also don't want to be the cause of material on my channel that in any way misleads people or causes people to think that it's just all about trolling a company that is in a lot of ways helping give me happiness and joy every time I play the game every day. And that doesn't mean I'm going to stop calling them out for trash offers. No, I'm very much always going to do that. But that does mean I'm going to take a deep breath next time I get one of those announcements, and I'm going to wait for more information. I'm so glad I did that already, because the other message I kept getting was about Magic's quote-unquote terrible nerf, her intended nerf or silent nerf. And then Kabam came out late yesterday and said that this was an accident, that they were going to fix it right away. And to their credit, I think as of the releasing of this video, they have. So it just goes to show me once again, even though a company may do some things over and over again that lead me to not necessarily have the most faith in it, that still doesn't mean that I shouldn't be objective and give them the benefit of a doubt, especially when a video like yesterday's can lead people to overreacting to something because I myself emotionally overreacted to it. So thanks for watching. I hope that clears some things up, and I'm going to do my best to continue to put out content that is enjoyable and not emotionally immature, shall we say. So thanks for watching, YouTube. Thanks again for all of your support.